What about vitamin C on the carnivore diet? Aren't you going to die of scurvy? What about vitamin C? Let's find out in today's video. When you start telling people that you're on the carnivore diet and doing just great, you will be confronted with two whatabouts. What about number one is, what about fiber? Most people believe that you have to eat fiber to have bowel movement. Well, that simply isn't true. And I experienced this myself. For many years, I was putting up with chronic idiopathic constipation, and removing of all the fiber from my diet resolved my constipation. I've made a few videos about that, so I'll link them in the description box. Check them out. The what about number two is, what about vitamin C? Again, most people believe that you need to get your vitamin C from fruits and vegetables. But is this really the case? To be honest, I myself for many years thought that vitamin C comes only from fruits and vegetables. And then I became a carnivore because I was desperate to reverse my autoimmunity. And so, since the carnivore diet became more and more popular, even people that cannot fathom being on the carnivore diet will agree with you that you can find adequate amounts of vitamin C and many other micronutrients in organ meats, things like beef or chicken liver. But the story with vitamin C in animal meats doesn't end here. Now, that there is a vitamin C in muscle meat, it was discovered over 100 years ago, but somehow it got forgotten. And if you go to USDA website and look at the nutritional tables, you'll find that there is no vitamin C listed for muscle meat. But this isn't the case. And the person that discovered it was another long-term carnivore, Amber Ahern, who actually researched it really thoroughly, including contacting the USDA, and they told her they've just taken assumption that there's no vitamin C in muscle meats, and that's how it is listed. But when she went to older publications of journals such as Lancet back into the 19th century, the discussion was that there was vitamin C in muscle meat, and the question is how much of it there was. And it was also well understood that there is vitamin C in muscle meat, provided it is fresh, but that the vitamin C is lost when the meat is hung and dried. In fact, Amber went even further and researched other countries' databases, and in the German ones she found that they were actually listing that there is vitamin C present in muscle meats. So it's not that there is no content of vitamin C in muscle meats, but habitually USDA just doesn't list that there is any vitamin C on their nutritional tables. Now, we had the knowledge of vitamin C being present in fresh meat 100 years ago. There was a discussion about it in the medical journals, but at the moment we assume that there's no vitamin C in muscle meats, even though there is. Amber's post is really long, and she shows all the evidence that she gathered that in fact there is vitamin C in the muscle meat. I will link that article in the description box, so definitely check it out for yourself. Alright, so now let's consider vitamin C from the point of view of biochemistry. Vitamin C and glucose compete with each other for transportation into our cells. Both vitamin C and glucose need insulin to get into our cells. So in the presence of massive amounts of glucose in your body, insulin will get glucose to our cells first, blocking the entry of vitamin C. So you need to take a lot more vitamin C to get the attention of insulin. And one other interesting fact about vitamin C and glucose is that they are both very similar structurally. So this too explains why they compete with each other for uptake into our cells. Now think about it. People that are on a very low carbohydrate diet or no carb diet, such as us carnivores, don't have any glucose coming through our food, and whatever insulin that we trigger while eating food will be directed into getting vitamin C into our cells without having to compete with glucose, because it's simply not delivered by what we eat. Now, second thing important to remember, we already know that there's vitamin C in organ meats, but there's also vitamin C in muscle meats. So if you eat adequate amounts of meat, fat and organ meats on your carnivore diet, more than likely you are meeting your vitamin C daily requirements. And there have been people that have been on the carnivore diet long before carnivore diet was a thing. They're on the carnivore diet for over 20 years and yet they have not died of scurvy. It is because there is actually vitamin C in muscle meats and you will need a lot less of it if you don't eat any carbs. So now you're probably wondering if it's appropriate to take vitamin C ever. And in my opinion, it is. If the circumstances call for it, yeah, I think vitamin C is a great tool. I would, for example, take it intravenously, and I did do that, and I liked it a lot. And I think vitamin C intravenously is very effective at dealing with sepsis. I would take vitamin C as a supplement if I thought I was coming down with a cold, which haven't happened in the last 10 years. But if it did, I would definitely take mega doses of vitamin C. I did take vitamin C when I was pregnant. I was doing the protocol of Dr. Klenner, where I was taking 4,000 milligrams of vitamin C in the first trimester, 6 milligrams in the second trimester, and 8 milligrams in the third trimester. And the objective was to prevent stretch marks and making the labor and delivery a lot easier. And I think he also pointed out that the blood loss was a lot less when women were supplementing with vitamin C. And indeed, I don't have a single stretch mark, and my labor and delivery were very easy. And for those of you that don't know, I had a home birth without any medication. However, I wouldn't take vitamin C as a daily regimen, thinking that I need to have some vitamin C as a supplement since I don't eat any fruit or vegetables. I need to make up, because I now know that there's more than enough of vitamin C in muscle meats, in organ meats, and my requirement for it is a lot less since I don't eat any carbohydrates. Alright, this will do it for this week's video. If you haven't yet, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I will see you in Friday Findings. Bye!